The police dog who exposed a chilling secret at a veteran's funeral. What happened next shocked the entire town. Hello everyone, and welcome back. Sit tight, relax, and prepare yourselves for one of the most unbelievable stories ever told at a funeral. In the heart of San Miguel Cemetery, a crowd had gathered to say their final goodbyes to Carlos Fernandez, a decorated war veteran and beloved figure in the town. The mood was somber, respectful. His loyal service dog, Max, lay solemnly beside the coffin, his eyes clouded with deep sorrow. Standing stiffly beside the casket was Mr. Esteban, the funeral director, hands clasped at his abdomen, face fixed in a mask of forced professionalism. Today, we bid farewell to a great man, began the priest, his voice echoing across the mourners. Carlos Fernandez fought for his country, lived with honor, and protected those he loved. Though he's no longer with us, his memory will remain in our hearts forever. A muffled sob broke the silence. From the front row, Isabel, Carlos's wife, covered her mouth, her eyes swollen with tears. Their son, Alejandro, gripped her hand tightly, his face pale, yet strangely. Neither of them showed the raw agony one might expect after such a loss. Then came a whisper of unease. From the rear rows, an elderly man stepped forward, disheveled beard, military cap in hand, eyes blazing with authority. It was Santiago, a fellow soldier and Carlos's old comrade in arms. "This death, it doesn't feel right," he declared, his voice carrying a weight of suspicion. Carlos was strong, full of life. He didn't just collapse and die. Whispers rippled through the crowd. Murmurs, frowns. Mr. Esteban shot a cold glance at Isabel. Dr. Ricardo, the man who had signed Carlos's death certificate, stood in silence, avoiding eye contact. And then, a howl. Long, gut-wrenching. Max suddenly leapt up, barking furiously, scratching at the coffin with a frantic desperation. "What's going on?" someone cried. At first, they thought the dog was just grieving, overcome by emotion. But Max kept clawing, kept howling. His eyes, now bloodshot, locked onto the coffin like he knew something. Then, it happened. A faint knock. From inside the coffin. Silence gripped the cemetery like a vice. Alejandro stumbled back. Isabel turned deathly pale. Mr. Esteban's brow furrowed. "Hallucination," he said quickly. "Everyone here is just too emotional. You're imagining it." But the knock came again, and this time, louder. Max went wild, barking, growling, nearly tearing the casket apart with his claws. Panic spread through the crowd. "Open it," Santiago demanded. "If Carlos is truly dead, then what's the harm?" Felipe, the village carpenter, stepped forward, gripping a crowbar. His eyes narrowed on Mr. Esteban. "You won't object, will you?" Esteban's jaw tightened. "You're making a terrible mistake," he hissed through clenched teeth. But no one listened. Felipe inhaled deeply, positioned the crowbar, and crack. The first prying sound echoed like thunder. Everyone held their breath. Max growled low, tail stiff, eyes glowing with that strange, unwavering determination. With each creak of the wood, tension twisted through the crowd like a vice. Then, a final snap. The lid cracked open. A pale hand slowly emerged, trembling. A shriek pierced the silence. Isabel fainted. Alejandro froze. Esteban's face turned ghost white. From within the coffin, Carlos Fernandez opened his eyes. "I'm not dead," he whispered, his voice no stronger than a dying breeze. Chaos erupted. People screamed. Others collapsed to their knees, muttering prayers. Santiago stumbled forward, catching Carlos as he tried to sit up. Carlos, Carlos, can you hear me? Carlos blinked, weakly nodding. Max, eyes full of tears and joy, jumped onto the coffin, licking Carlos's face as if to say, I knew it. I never gave up. Esteban was frozen, lips pressed, fists clenched. Dr. Ricardo stammered, pale and sweating. This can't be. He was dead. I signed the certificate. You what? Santiago roared, turning sharply. You're sure you checked his pulse? His breathing? I thought I did, Ricardo faltered, stepping back, visibly trembling. It's impossible. The dead don't come back. Then why is he breathing? Santiago shouted, pointing to Carlos, who was still clinging to life. The crowd erupted. Someone made a mistake. Or is it murder? Carlos was buried alive. Santiago turned back to Ricardo. You better start talking. Ricardo's lips trembled. I can't. If I speak, they'll kill me. Who? Santiago demanded, fists clenched. I can't, Ricardo repeated, eyes darting toward Esteban, who hadn't moved. Then, a shout. He's running, cried someone. Ricardo had bolted, but Max was faster. The dog sprang, clamped onto Ricardo's leg, and took him down in a heartbeat. Screams filled the air as police rushed forward. Restrain him, barked Chief Javier, arriving on the scene with officers. They slapped handcuffs on Ricardo as he whimpered, Please, I didn't mean for this to happen. You nearly killed him. Santiago spat, grabbing him by the collar. What did you inject him with? What did you do? I only followed orders, Ricardo whispered. Santiago glared. Whose orders? All eyes turned to Esteban. Still calm, still silent, but no longer fooling anyone. You rushed this funeral, Santiago accused. No autopsy, no second opinions. You wanted him in the ground. Esteban scoffed. I was doing my job. Your job is to bury the dead, not the living. At that, Esteban's eyes flashed, cold, sharp, dangerous. I did what needed to be done, he said flatly. Just then, another voice spoke up. I know the truth. Everyone turned. It was Marcos, a quiet young employee of the funeral home. Esteban's face twitched. You what? He growled. Marcos stepped forward. I saw it all. I saw Dr. Ricardo inject Mr. Fernandez with a drug, something that slowed his heart. He looked dead, but he wasn't. Gasps spread through the crowd. Marcos lifted his phone. And I recorded everything. Esteban paled. Santiago smirked. You've lost, Esteban. Chief Javier gave the nod. Arrest him. Police officers moved, but Esteban snapped, drawing a knife from beneath his jacket. No one move, he shouted, eyes wild, blade glinting. The crowd screamed. Officers raised their weapons. Max barked furiously. You think you've won? Esteban raged. You think this is justice? I'll take someone with me before I go. He lunged toward Marcos, but Max was already in motion. With a snarl, the brave dog launched himself through the air, teeth bared, slamming into Esteban's arm. The knife clattered to the ground. Santiago didn't hesitate. A punch straight to the jaw dropped Esteban cold. Cheers and tears erupted all at once. "Esteban, you're under arrest for attempted murder," Chief Javier said, snapping the cuffs on tightly. Esteban didn't struggle. He knew it was over. As Esteban was dragged away, kicking and screaming, one truth became crystal clear. This wasn't just a case of negligence. This was something far darker. Chief Javier turned to Santiago, his voice grim. "We're raiding the funeral parlor. Right now." Night fell over San Miguel as flashing red and blue lights bathed the old building in a sinister glow. Officers poured into the premises. Santiago and Marcos followed closely behind, torches in hand. The air was cold, still, reeking of chemicals. "Check every room," Javier ordered. "We're not just looking for records, we're looking for truth." Then came a sound. From the basement. Marcos swallowed hard. That's where they kept the others. They descended the old wooden staircase, the boards creaking with every step. At the bottom, a heavy iron door. It opened with a groan that sent shivers down their spines. And what they saw inside, unforgettable. Dozens of body bags, stacked. Some half-zipped, some fresh. One officer whispered, "This isn't a morgue, it's a slaughterhouse." And then they found it, the locked chamber. Marcos pointed. They sometimes kept people alive. A battering ram shattered the door. Inside, curled in the corner, barely breathing, was a man. Gagged, hands bound, eyes wide with terror. "I am Javier Mendoza," he croaked. "They took me for my blood type." Javier, the chief, stood paralyzed. This wasn't just malpractice. This was industrial-scale organ trafficking. The evidence was overwhelming. Patient records, hidden coolers with harvested organs, financial logs, names, so many names. And every single one was another nail in Esteban's coffin. The courtroom was packed, every bench filled, people standing, reporters at the back. The entire town of San Miguel had come to witness the fall of the man who had ruled their lives from the shadows. Carlos, still recovering, sat in the front row. Isabel by his side, Alejandro next to him. Max, of course, lay loyally at his feet. "All rise," the bailiff called. The judge entered. "Bring forth the accused," the prosecutor declared. Esteban was escorted in, hands shackled, face pale, but behind his eyes, that same old arrogance. Until Carlos took the stand. His voice was hoarse, but his words? Devastating. "I was not dead. I was drugged, buried alive. They wanted me out of the way, but Max saved me. He saved us all." Gasps rippled through the courtroom. Then came the audio, the recording Marcos had taken. In it, Esteban's voice was cold, calculating. Make it look natural. No autopsy, no questions. The courtroom erupted. Even Esteban's lawyer couldn't defend it. "My client will not testify," he muttered, defeated. The judge leaned forward. "Mr. Esteban, do you have anything to say?" Esteban's eyes narrowed. He turned to Carlos. "You should be dead." The room fell silent. Then Santiago stood, voice sharp, "And that, Your Honor, is all the proof we need." Bang! Went the judge's gavel. "Esteban, you are hereby sentenced to life in prison, without the possibility of parole." Applause exploded through the room. People wept, hugged. Max barked once, as if to seal the verdict. In the heart of San Miguel's town square, a statue now stood, small but proud. It was Max. Underneath. Max, the hero of San Miguel. Carlos stood before the crowd, now walking again. "I owe my life to many of you," he said. "But above all, I owe it to a dog who never stopped believing I was alive." The crowd cheered. Isabel wept. Alejandro embraced his father. Santiago saluted Max with a smile. "You didn't just save a man. You saved an entire town." And as the sun set over San Miguel, one thing was clear. The truth had triumphed. Justice had been served. And a dog had become a legend. For more impactful stories, subscribe to the channel, like the video and activate the bell to receive notifications. See you later.